The Season 27 patch notes are here with big changes, like Tridents 2.0, a massive change to heat shields, hint hint, you're not going to see them anymore, a tough change to LMGs, and well, a lot, so let's get into it. Starting off in Season 27, we're going to be getting audio updates. Essentially, we're going to get a new mix option called Focused, which everyone will have by default in Season 27, which will offer you better hearing of footsteps within action in the game. Also, Respawn are trying to improve server and game stability, and they're pushing new tools to start getting these changes in motion. Season 27 is also coming with a brand new feature, Wishlist. Respawn said, "We want to give players some additional options for certain packs. Wishlist is a feature that will be enabled on select packs and will influence cosmetic drops for the legends and loadouts you designate. Here's how it works. You pick 5 legends and 2 weapons to add to your wishlist. Depending on the pack, wishlist may only impact items of certain rarity, like specific rarity tiers. If a pack drops a wishlist enabled item, you are guaranteed at least 1 item from your chosen legends. All selections must be valid for a wishlist to be active. A selection is valid as long as you don't own 100% of the items for that legend or weapon class from the Apex pack pool, and if a wishlist is inactive or unavailable at the time of opening a wishlist enabled pack, the items will instead draw from the generic Apex pack pool. These give a new use for legend tokens, as you get 5 wishlist edits per season, and they get refreshed every season. After that, you can keep editing anytime for 500 legend tokens. Honestly, for this, I want to look at it before I comment on it because it does seem a bit weird. Respawn additionally say they are adding new amped seasonal packs. They say this season we're introducing the amped seasonal pack, available all season long. This special pack is wishlist enabled and it gives you a chance at unlocking the new mythic R99, the new legendary cosmetics to change your look, and wishlist activation for epic tier items. The amped seasonal pack brings new and more focused ways to earn cosmetics all season long. You can earn up to 5 amped seasonal packs throughout the season via challenges and free battle pass tracks, which I guess is good. Once again, I want to see how this works. But if this is truly just more free stuff, I ain't gonna argue. On to the actual balance updates. In their care package rotation, the triple take is returning to the floor and the car SMG is entering the care package. The exact stat changes will be mentioned later on in this video. For gold weapons, we have the alternator G7, Havoc, Bocek, and Akimbo Mozam. For game updates, extended supply bins and weapon supply bins now have icons again on the minimap and full map. Over on Arsenals, Respawn increased ammo bricks to give full stacks of the applicable ammo type, which is pretty big, makes them a bit more valuable. Replicators apparently now have a new craftable, the Arrow Bundle, which is only obtainable when crafting ammo when the Bocek is in your loadout, and on pickup it fully replenishes your arrow reserve on 1 Bocek weapon, and it can only be picked up if you're holding a Bocek that's not full. We're also getting a new movement system called Mantle Boost, which is an ability for all legends, granting velocity on a timed input after a mantle. Respawn have added options for customizing the mantle boost, input key or button, and they've also added the option to remap character movement abilities, as well as adding options for reducing the UI footprint of the mantle boost. Over on heat shields, they have been removed from core BR modes, including trios and duos, and if you're not aware, they were already removed from ranked, so they're basically gone now. Tridents have had an update, and Respawn are calling this Tridents 2.0. They've added foundational improvements like updated the model and textures, collision is tightened for a smoother ride, the Trident can now be damaged and destroyed, it has 800 health, Trident occupants and the vehicle can now be damaged independently, meaning you can snipe people off Tridents. Tridents can now damage enemies if you hit them at high speeds, camera and controls are more tuned for more responsiveness and precision on the Trident, and the boost meter has been replaced with a single use boost. It also has new movement features like jump. When you press jump on a Trident, you will now actually jump from the ground with the Trident. It also has glide, so if you hold jump, you will glide when off the ground. While gliding, the Trident will very slowly lose altitude, and it can be steered in any direction, and it can still boost. It also now has auto healing and auto respawns, so if they get destroyed, one will respawn at its original location. There's also improved UI to better indicate to driver and passengers Trident damage and health, and control mappings are now adjusted to account for the new features. Over to the legend changes. Let's start off with Valkyrie. Respawn have changed her VTOL jets, which are her passive. First of all, the cooldown recharge delay has been significantly reduced, from 8 seconds to 2.5 seconds, meaning when you touch the ground, you no longer have to wait 8 seconds to start regenning your jet fuel, it now takes 2.5. The recharge time is significantly reduced as well, from 10.9 seconds to 3 seconds. Fuel doesn't start recharging until you touch the ground though, and EMP effects drain jetpack fuel. For the speed, the horizontal fly speed and strafe amount has been significantly increased, and vertical fly speed has been increased, and you'll gain additional vertical speed when going straight up. Respawn did make one nerf. They reduced the initial speed boost for the first 0.5 seconds to be 5% slower rather than 25% faster. Also, the total fuel has been reduced on her jetpack from 8 seconds to 6 seconds, so you will have less time in the air, and the initial fuel consumption when activating the jetpack has been increased. So some downsides for the good sides. This is definitely a good change. Over on her tactical, the missile swarm, Respawn have removed self-damage and the stun effect and added a short 1.5 seconds full body scan on hit. Also, tac damage now puts movement passives on cooldown like other EMP effects, so if you hit an Ash with missiles, she won't have her dash, and Respawn have removed 5 seconds of the cooldown of her missiles to take it from 30 seconds to 25 seconds. They've also removed vertical clearance firing restrictions and improved missile pathing to work better in some situations, such as low clearance situations, like firing indoors with low roofs. Respawn have also increased the max distance of her missiles from 100 meters to 125. Over on her ultimate, Respawn have increased the launch height by 15% by integrating her Afterburners upgrade into her main kit, and they've reduced the cooldown by 30 seconds, taking the cooldown from 3 minutes to 2.5 minutes. They've reduced the delay before takeoff from 2 seconds to 1.5 seconds, so you have less time to be lasered, and they've slightly reduced the time slowly rising before takeoff, once again giving you less opportunity to be lasered. Respawn have also removed the self-cancel cooldown penalty, so you can cancel a Valk cooldown without worrying about having to recharge it again, and reduced the damage cooldown penalty from 54 seconds to 30 seconds. Additionally, when skydiving, she can now fire her tactical while in the air skydiving, except when dropping from the dropship, and she also lands faster when skydiving, so she's got less slow fall. On her blue upgrades, Afterburners has been removed and integrated into a kit, and now Eyes in the Sky has been moved to level 2. Also, her full coverage upgrade has been improved, taking the missile swarm pattern to 4x5 from 3x5. Over on level 3, aka Purple Armor, she now has the full tank perk removed, and she has a new perk called Supersonic, where her ultimate launch time is reduced by around 50%, and Respawn have reworked her Aerial Expert perk, which improves jetpack horizontal speeds and significantly improves handling, while decreasing initial fuel consumption, while at the same time slightly reducing the total fuel Valk has. Over on Rampart, Respawn have changed the name of her passive from Modded Loader to Battle Modder, and it now adds an additional effect. Cover walls permanently gain health as Rampart gains Evo levels. Over on her amped cover, she now has a roof on her amped shield, and walls can now be charged by doing damage through the amped shield or by having the wall be damaged by enemies. Wall charge is converted into a speed boost that is activated by going over the wall. The wall can store up to 300 damage, which results in a 15-second speed boost at full charge. Speed boost times scale linearly with stored charge. The wall charge is only usable by teammates, and each teammate can use stored charge individually. Speed boost is automatically given to nearby teammates when the wall is destroyed. Damage to the wall is stored at 25%, while damage through amped shield is stored at 100%, and speed boost can only apply when sprinting. With her new passive, her wall health now increases by 200 per Evo level, so it starts at 400 and it will be 800 HP at max Evo level for Rampart. Her shield health is also increased by 25 Evo per level as well, so it can start at 175 and end at 225. For downsides, the health while the wall is building has been reduced from 120 to 100, but also the amped shield arc star damage multiplier has been removed, while the wall frag damage multiplier has been increased to be double damage. So if you frag grenade Rampart shields, it will do double damage towards them. Over on her upgrades. Her ultimate cooldown upgrade has now been removed, and her bandolier upgrade has now been removed, and it's been replaced with Combat Reserve. She has 2 new blue perks, Combat Reserve, bigger ammo stacks, extra grenade slots, and access to red weapon supply bins, aka assault perks, and she has another blue perk called Locked and Loaded, which allows her to gain faster reloads and infinite ammo when behind amped cover, and if her amped shield is intact. Over on level 3, aka purple, her ramped up upgrade is unchanged, but amped reloads has been removed and replaced with rebuild module, which is an upgrade that allows amped cover to regen health and rebuild shield sections after not being damaged for a period of time. Our third legend to have changes is Horizon. Over on her gravity lift, Respawn have increased the lift speed from 300 to 375 and increased the hover time at the top of the lift from 0.5 seconds to 1.5 seconds. She's also had cooldown reductions, as the cooldown has been reduced by 5 seconds on her tactical, and Respawn have reduced the delay before cooldown starts by 8 seconds, taking it from 10 seconds to 2 seconds. Respawn have effectively reduced the cooldown of her gravity lift from 35 seconds to 22 seconds when you consider both of these changes. Over on her black hole, Respawn have reduced the cooldown by 30 seconds, so it now takes 3 minutes instead of 3.5 minutes to cool down, and they've increased the health from 175 to 225 for her black hole. Over on Horizon's blue upgrades, ultimate cooldown has been removed as well as tactical cooldown. She now has 2 new blue perks, Gravity Boots, where if you press crouch while in the air, you will fall much faster, and Newt Scoot, where if you press jump after exiting a gravity lift, you will glide off of it. Over on her purple upgrades, she has Conservation of Energy, which is unchanged, but Combat Reserve has been removed and replaced with Knock Expert, where you gain tactical charges upon knocks. Revenant has also seen changes after his recent domination of Ranked, and Respawn have reduced the maximum possible velocity of Revenant's Shadow Pounce. Over on loot and attachments, amps have had some changes. Respawn have reduced the healing rate of Overflow Healer and added infinite ammo and over armor to early game floor loot. Respawn have also added over armor as a potential drop from assault bins. We also have a new attachment, the Gold Laser Sight, which is usable with all SMGs and pistols. It greatly improves ground and aerial hipfire spread, as well as adding reverse hipfire. This is gonna go crazy with Horizon. Over on locked top-ups, Respawn have added a new one called Double Tap Trigger, which is only on the alternator, and it takes 375 hop-up points to unlock. The accelerator hop-up has effectively been removed, as it's been removed from every weapon it was on and put on no other weapons, and also the Skull Piercer has essentially been removed from the game. Additionally, the graffiti mod has been removed from the Spitfire and Eva, but put on the Mozam and Wingman, which is going to be interesting to see. The gun shield generator has been removed from the Rampage and added to the triple take, now it's back on the ground, and the Select Fire Receiver has had its points to unlock increased to 450 on the charge rifle. For the LMG weapons on a whole, except the L-Star, Respawn have removed the reverse hipfire mechanic, and hipfire spread has been decreased to compensate, and Respawn have updated the reticles back to their original design because of this change. For marksman weapons, Respawn have reduced projectile size and scaling and decreased projectile launch speed, as well as reducing headshot damage multiplier, essentially nerfing all marksman weapons. Speaking of nerfing marksman weapons, the 30-30 has had its headshot multiplier reduced, and the bow check can now take a 2 to 4 times ACOG scope. The triple take is now floor loot, and the damage has been reduced to 22 per bullet instead of 23. Respawn have increased the choke charge time while increasing the firing rate when hip firing. The P2020 that's currently in the care package has had its fire rate increased, and the magazine increased to 26 from 22. It'll definitely be worth checking out. The RE45 Burst, the elite weapon, has had recoil improvements, and the purple mag size has been increased by 3. Over on the shotguns, the Peacekeeper has had its full burst damage reduced to 99 from 108, and also Respawn have increased the choke charge time. The rechamber time has been decreased to 1.1, which is reverting a previous hotfix, and the clip size has been reduced to 5 from 6, so kind of a nerf and mini buff at the same time for the PK. The alternator has seen changes, the damage has been increased to 19 from 18, and the magazine size has been reduced to 26 on blue from 27, and on purple and gold it's been increased to 30 from from 29, a bit of a rejiggle. While using its new double tap trigger, it shoots 2 bullets at once, but has a reduced fire rate, and the damage per bullet has been reduced to 15. So if you hit someone with both bullets of the double tap alternator, it will do 30 damage. The car SMG, now it's in the care package, has had some changes. It's got a new hop up called the Galvanic Gavel, which allows the magazine to be swapped between Disruptor and Hammer point rounds. Upon the first pickup, it begins with Disruptor rounds. The magazine size has been increased to 30 from 28, and Respawn have improved the reload speed of the mag swap. Over on the Prowler, while in burst mode, holding down the trigger now releases subsequent bursts, and Respawn have slightly increased burst delay. Over on the Vault, Respawn have increased projectile size in close quarters. For snipers, on all snipers, Respawn have reduced the projectile size, and on the charge rifle, the maximum damage has been reduced to 99 from 110. The damage has been reduced by 40% while using the select fire mode, while it was originally 25%, so this is shooting in auto of the charge rifle, and damage scale and minimum distance has been increased to 75 meters from 50, so this is a massive nerf. Over on the maps, Olympus has had new points of interest, Somers University, Gravity Engine Stabilizer, Dockyard, and many smaller changes. Here are all of the small changes. You guys can read them because you're going to find them out tomorrow anyway when you play the map. For pubs and ranked map rotations, Olympus, Broken Moon, and Ward's Edge are maps, and also there's mixtape maps if you're one of those people. For wildcards, it seems at the start of the season, the wildcard map is going to be Kings Canyon until the 18th, where I assume it will switch over to Olympus. Also, wildcards are now permanently in wildcard, not just in their LTM events. The current wildcards in rotation will be Extra Ordnance, Drone Support, Smoke Out, High Velocity, Status Report, Speedy Charge, Recharger, Fast Draw, and Monstrous Strength, believe it or not. There's also many smaller changes in wildcard that I know all of you won't want to read, so I'm going to let you pause it if you want to, except from one big thing. Digi-Threat has returned as a rare loot spawn in wildcard. Pretty fun stuff, honestly. We have a new mythic weapon rotation in wildcard. The weapons leaving are the L-Star, Devo, Hemlock, R99 and PK, and the weapons returning are the Kraber Triple Take, Wingman, Prowler, P20 Akimbo, Rampage, and G7, as well as the new improved car. Also, we have some scoring tuning for ranked. Once again, you can pause because I know everybody won't want to hear that. And Respawn have overhauled the drop zone loot to make it so loot spawns across all drop zone point of interests are now more fair. If you're a big ranked ladder head, here are the dates of ranked ladders. And also, the requirement to earn the ranked ladder champion dive trail has been reduced from 3 completions to 2 completions, so it's a bit easier. We also have some general bug fixes and legend bug fixes. Luckily, the green tint issue is fixed on Valkyrie, so nobody's going to be getting some sort of brain issue when they're playing her. And Respawn have added some quality of life changes. Requeue with squad is now a thing, so if you play with a squad and you really like them, you can choose to requeue with them without having to go into the lobby and invite them and friend them and all of this. Some pretty cool changes were added, like a new button prompt in the legend locker that allows you to hide the user interface to look at your cosmetics better. Also, Respawn have standardized a number of square button widgets, mostly in the lobby, to achieve a more consistent interactivity and aesthetic across the game. In miscellaneous, Respawn have added a new voice chat option to toggle your microphone. Oh my god, my mouth is getting dry from reading all of these. And over on ranked, Respawn have added an announcer voiceover saying which drop zone your team is landing at. For QOL on Valkyrie, Respawn have fixed the green color correction when skydiving. Over on Rampart, you can now loot while holding Sheila and do other interactable things. Also, Respawn have added additional placement modes for walls. By pressing aim down sights, you can place a single wall and then pull out your weapons, but if you place down a wall with your attack button, it's unchanged from the current behavior. Respawn have also reduced the size of amped bullet tracers when shooting through amped cover. Rampart also has new voice lines when being summoned into the Void Nexus when being knocked. And that is it for the patch notes, folks. My mouth is very dry, so subscribe if you enjoyed this, and if you want to buy a battle pass or coins for next season, use code GRT on the EA app or the EA web store in the description, because it really helps me with actual money. Okay, bye.